Hello, it's Dr. Trussell again. We didn't finish chapter 14 talking about issuing bonds at a discount, so I wanted to go through an example with you, the one that's found in your class activities, which is example number 7, to finish up chapter 14. Chapter 7, example 7 from your chapter 14 handout, bonds issued at a discount. That reads a AAA company issued 500,000 10% bonds on 11x1 due in 5 years with payments every June 30th and December 31st. First of all, notice that the payments are semi-annual. You can see it from right there. Also, if the bonds are issued to yield 12%, that compute the price of the bond. The entry to issue the bond and the first interest payment. Notice that the bonds yield 12%, and so that should be a discount because the market is paying higher than the stated rate. The stated rate's up here at 10%. So since the market's paying more interest than we are, we have to discount our price to entice people to buy our bonds. So the semi-annual interest payments, we're going to have to adjust the payments because it's semi-annual, so we have to multiply it by 1/2. So principal times rate times time. The principal is 500,000, the stated rate 10%, and then every 6 months, so we come to $25,000. Let's compute the price of the bond first. To compute the price of the bond, we take the present value of the face value and add in the present value of the interest payments. The face value is 500,000, and to use the present value tables, we're going to have to double the years to get our semi-annual payments. So 5 years times twice a year is 10, so that's why we have n of 10 here. And we're going to have the yield from 12 to 6% to get it every 6 months. So don't forget to adjust the n and your I when you go to look it up on the table. And from the table, we're going to find, so you're going to go to table number 2, present value of the dollar, and look down to the 10 periods column and then across to 6%, and you'll find the factor 0.55839, which gives us the present value of your face. Now that's only the face value. We also need to add in the present value of the payments, the $25,000 payments, which is an annuity. So we use the same process, except we're going to go to table 4, present value of an annuity. And from table 4, you look up the factor, same thing, n equals 10, I equals 6, and you'll find a factor of 7.36009. Multiply it through by the 25,000, and you get your present value. Now to get the price, we're just going to add those two factors together. So we're going to add the 279 195 and the 184,002, add them together, and you get your total price. With the calculator, it's a little bit different, but I wanted to show you how close it is with the calculator between the two. And since the calculator is a little more accurate, I'm going to use that in my amortization tables. Let's prepare an amortization table. So the amortization table, we're going to start out using the price of the bond as our starting point. That was from the previous slide. And then you'll notice also then the cash paid column that everything is the same. We got $25,000 all the way down the table. So the only thing we have left to compute is the interest expense column, and the interest expense column is shown down the bottom here. We take the carrying amount, which is your beginning price, times the, in essence, half of the effective rate to get our interest expense. So that's how we came up with this 27,792, and then just take the difference between them to get your amount amortized. Just take the difference, and then since it's a discount, we know that the carrying amount has to grow to get up to the final carrying amount. The final face value there. So it's going to grow. Notice it's going to grow. So that way we know that to get the carrying amount at the end of the period, we take the beginning and then add in the discount amortized to get your ending carrying amount, which is the same thing as your outstanding balance. And then the table is done exactly the same way all the way down to the end. The last step we have to do, they ask you to do, is prepare the journal entries, record the issuance of the bond and the first payment. Now the first payment is The first payment is your payment on June 30th, 2000, X1, which is that number I have labeled as 1 there. So we're going to take all the figures from this first line and bring it onto the journal entry. Alright, so we're going to record the journal entries. On the issue date, which is 1/1/X1, we're going to credit bonds payable. The bonds payable here, remember, is always at the face value. So notice this is the face value. And the cash is always equal to the price. So the price goes in cash, the face value goes in bonds, and then our discount, we're going to need a debit or credit. So we have a debit, which is going to go to discount on bonds payable. And then if it would happen to be a credit, it would be a premium. We saw that last time. So we need to amortize the discount. So notice it's a debit and it's going to come down here as a credit. And these figures for the first payment all come out of your amortization table. You can go back to there and see it on the first line. We just computed that interest expense. The cash is fixed. This is always going to be the same credit every 6 months to the cash account. And then we balance it with the discount. Okay, so that's how do you account for bonds at a discount. I'll see you in class.